Let's make a mid-map from a book entitled Learning English 300% Faster by Sebastian Archer. How to think like an English language master. Because relaxing and having fun can improve your memory, then focus on making English learning fun. Treat English like a game. Fully focus when you sit down to play, and relax at the same time. Break English down and make it possible to master in small, simple steps. Don't avoid mistakes. Try to make more mistakes. Fail your way to fluency, so start making mistakes. Enjoy making them. Laugh when you do. Just keep on communicating, and mistakes will naturally disappear over time. Kids have to learn languages. They are simply forced to so that they can communicate. They have real motivation. Also, children enjoy the process of learning. They have not yet been taught by bad schooling that it's wrong to make mistakes. Children learn to speak languages in the real world. They want to express something to their mother or father or friend. They want to make a sentence right there so that someone can understand them. They learn the language purely because they want to communicate. Every new thing they learn they use in a sentence and in a real conversation immediately. And this is exactly how you should learn English from now on. Children actually take a huge amount of time to learn any language. Think about it. They practice pretty much full time from when they are about 1.5 years old until they are 7 years old and older. They practice and learn several hours every day, for years. Adults, on the other hand, often spend a few hours a week practicing a language. We tend to have less time to dedicate to the task. So, hour for hour, adults put less time in, but can progress faster because as adults we can study the language with more intelligent strategy. How to feel great and start winning at English right now. Do not feel like you have to practice lots before you begin talking in English. You can begin talking in English now, so just begin. Speaking full sentences from the very beginning when you're learning English. Learn a few very common words, then immediately use them in full sentences. Repetition of the basics, with slight variations, is the key to any skill, so from the beginning, make realistic sentences. And practice the simplest structures 10,000 times, like Bruce Lee. Practice the new word inside 5 or 10 or 20 different sentences. You will feel great because you are instantly using it in real spoken English. At every level of English, make long sentences, because you can, and because that is how we speak naturally. If you're alone, speak it out loud anyway. Talk to yourself. It's a great learning habit. Don't be shy. No one is going to hear you. Study with someone who understands this, and who is intelligent enough to use these strategies to help you make these full sentences and have little conversations. And just as important is to notice that you are speaking a full English sentence and celebrate, feel pleasure about it, reward yourself. One thing you may have to do is stop comparing your English skills to other people. Comparison robs yourself of joy, and it's completely unimportant how well other people are doing. Just stay focused on your own adventure with English. Notice the little steps forward you are making every day, and celebrate them. The 3 biggest mistakes English learners make. Mistake 1. Learning in a big class of other students. Mistake 2. Learning grammar first. Focus on communicating and forming full sentences. As long sentences as possible. Then if you have to, you can quickly learn something about grammar here and there. Just so you understand how to make those sentences accurately. Mistake 3. Speaking with non-native speakers. Many students feel like they have to prepare for a long time before they are ready to speak English with native speakers. But the truth is, the best way you learn is by speaking with native speakers, even from the very beginning. How to start speaking with a native speaker right away. When you find someone, ask them to 1. Write down new words you learn. 2. Intelligently ask you to repeat those new words in full sentences. 3. Come back to those new words and phrases every now and again, using spaced repetition to help you remember them. 4. Keep the lesson light, relaxing and fun. 5. Mostly ask you how to say certain things in English, so you have to make full sentences, and also sometimes have little conversations with you about things that you want to talk about. 6. Talk less and listen more. 7. Be very patient and relax. Just let you lead the lesson with your questions. 8. Don't give you all the answers. Wait patiently for you to remember them. Maybe give you clues to help you. Study a course in English, not an English course. Don't go to the UK or the USA to study in an English course. Study another course like yoga, cooking, salsa or acting, which requires you to understand and use real English all day long. How to destroy your fear of speaking English. Develop your curiosity to turn your focus onto other people and overcome your fear. Drop perfectionism. Be happy with poor quality conversations. Build momentum day by day. To control the conversation, use phrases like these regularly. Sorry? Sorry. Can you repeat that? Could you speak a little more slowly, please? What does mean? I don't quite understand you. How do you say? Can you explain that again, please? What do you mean? Listen to English every day to boost your comprehension skills. Listen to English every day, actively and passively, even if it's in the background. Learn a subject you're passionate about, using an English spoken course. Watch movies you already know in English. Listen to audiobooks in English. Use Pareto 80-20 efficiency. Focus on learning the 20% of words that are used in 80% of English conversation. Learn the words that matter most. Prepare the English you personally will use the most. Focus on the English words you personally will use the most in conversation. Learn the vocabulary for your hobbies and topics of passion. Predict what situations you will get into, and what topics you will discuss in English. Focus on this language first. Learn phrases and expressions that help you to express yourself in the most natural way for your personality. Find the English cognates in your language, the words your language shares with English, and start using them first. Find the cognates which are also most commonly spoken in English. Put them into sentences straight away. Recognize and celebrate how much English you can already express. Memory tricks to remember new English words. Use visual memory tricks to help memorize new vocabulary. Collect these helping images in familiar physical locations in your mind, otherwise known as building a memory palace. Spaced repetition means timing the new information so that you are exposed to it shortly after you first learn it, then a slightly longer period after that, then a longer period after that, and so on. The key to masterful memorization is to give your mind the information again before you forget it. Remind yourself of it 30 minutes later, 2 hours, 2 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, then 2 months, and so on. Use flashcards to help you memory. Use images on your flashcards. A picture says 1,000 words. Use clear goals to help focus and speed up your learning. Create goals that are smart, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Don't take your tests too seriously. Just use them to give yourself some direction. Keep having fun and stay relaxed as you learn. How to quickly prepare and master English language tests. Understand that learning English to pass a test is a different skill to learning English so you can speak fluently, with confidence. Focus on mock exams. Create the exact conditions you will have in the actual exam. Always practice like it's the real thing. Create the same pressure. Break down carefully the exact requirements of the result you desire. Record yourself. Analyze your performance. Use a conversation partner to get accurate feedback. Create a daily habit with your English, so it does not require willpower to learn. Build your habits slowly at the beginning, but commit for 30 or 40 days. The rocket must travel 384,000 kilometers to the moon, but 85% of its fuel is used up in those first 2 kilometers as it fights against gravity and leaves the Earth's orbit. Putting any new behavior into your life is like making a rocket take off. Your rocket fuel is willpower, and you will need a lot of it in those first 30 or 40 days. Pronunciation. Know your mouth, the fast physical system. Train your brain to recognize the differences between very similar sounds in English. Use your muscles to learn how to make a sound your lips, tongue, and vocal cords. Pay attention to the rhythm of a sentence as a native speaker says it. Copy this rhythm. Firstly, listen, but don't always trust your ears alone. Our brains are trained to hear similarities between sounds, so this actually works against hearing small differences. There are 2 ways to train yourself to hear and then recreate the different sounds. Firstly, compare very similar sounding words like where, and, were, or, to, and, to, or, this, and. These, really, minutely, start to hear and feel the differences between them. As soon as your brain can recognize them, that fine distinction will stay with you permanently. Secondly, use your feelings and muscles to learn the sounds, not just your ears. Simplify grammar. How to eat grammar books for breakfast. Don't overemphasize grammar. You naturally absorb a lot of it as you learn to speak, as children do. When you encounter a new piece of grammar, look for new words, new word forms, and surprises. Use flashcards to help remember grammar rules too. Push yourself from simple practice to real conversational mastery. As you practice, begin to push yourself so that you are playing with the language. When you prepare for your daily practice in speaking, bring lists of topics and situations you want to talk about or role play with your conversation partner. And the key is to really throw yourself into it. Try to express things in interesting ways. Have fun with it. Argue, suddenly express things with passion. Go off on tangents and talk about something else suddenly, just because you thought of it. In other words, start speaking like you do in real-life conversation. To sound like a native, use filler expressions like a native. Learn filler expressions early on to sound more like a native speaker when you talk. Listen out for them in movies, and when you hear any native speakers talking, the filler expressions they use in between the content of a sentence. Play with them. Throw them into conversation when you are thinking. Have fun with it. If you put these ideas and strategies into action, you will easily increase your English learning speed by 300%, maybe by much more. That's our lesson for now. Keep focused on practicing. Don't be lazy. Good luck. This video was made by Still English.